And in this video, we're going to talk about how you can create your own MCP server from scratch using Spring and Java. Now, if you know the theory, then MCP server is a sort of abstraction where you can provide all your custom tool calling logic in the service layer and have the external LLM access these tools and then make some API calls or some database queries, etc., and carry out your custom business logic using the tools which you have configured. So, as of now, the latest Spring version at the time of recording this video is 1.1.2. So this is the approach that you can follow here. We have a single annotation called @MCP tool, where you can just create a bean and register all your MCP tools into this class. And the use case that we're going to discover in this video is going to be asking Claude AI questions related to a fictitious town called Aryakton. So this is a town which will have its own time zone. So as you know, LLMs don't have real-time understanding. So we can provide the time zone from inside the tool, and that's going to be of London for now. So whenever we ask Claude what time is it in Aryakton right now, so it's going to give us the European London time. It's next coming to what's the population. So you can have your custom logic, and for now I'm going for a database here. So I have configured H2 here. Let me just show you the POM XML first. If you go to POM XML, I have added a couple of dependencies. I'm using Java 25. Spring AI version is 1.1.2, and I've got the MCP server dependency here, followed by JPA and H2. And this is a library for faking test data. So that's it. And you also have a web dependency. So we are going to expose the MCP server on port 8080 using streamable HTTP. So that is the setup for this project. And application properties, as you can see, we have the streamable option for the protocol. There is also STDIO, which was sort of old. I prefer this one. So you can go with whatever you like. And these are the H2 credentials. So once you start this application, these tools are going to be registered by the LLM, which is going to be Claude AI application in this case. And what I'm doing is every 500 milliseconds, I'm adding some data to the database, and that is populating the residents of this town. So you'll have the population increasing every 500 milliseconds. So from there, we can get the real-time count of the population. That's how the current population is getting called. So it's a interesting use case. You can expand this to fit your business needs better. And next, I've got the get residents, so it can return some of the residents, sort of a limit clause on it. And we'll have some realistic data to see once the tool gets called. And then there are some get places. So what are the famous places in this town? So I'm going for an API call here. This is just to simulate so that you can have your own microservice architecture. You've got your own stack, so you can call your different microservices from here. And for now, I've just added it in the same project here. So I've got a city controller, which is static, some made up cities of the world I'm returning as a hard-coded. Yeah. But in reality, you'll have your API service calls and different services here. So this is like a gateway, and you can wrap your stack around this MCP tool calling procedure and build your MCP server, build a single jar, and then supply it to the LLM. The way you do that is, I'll just show you that configuration in a sec, but for now, let's just start this. So let me just open the logs. So as you can see, the application has started on port 8080. Yeah. And we've got the H2 console also. So let's go to H2 and view what database data we have. So I'm going to go to localhost 8080 /H2-console. And here you can just connect. And as you can see, we have some test data getting populated. This is going to keep on increasing. So right now we have 59 rows. But if you run right now, then we've got 72. So it's increased. And that's how you get the real-time population. So for now, let's just connect our Claude AI to this this application, this MCP endpoint. But before that, I want to show you one thing, which is the inspector UI. So if you fire this command in your machine to see the inspector UI, you will be able to see what tools have gotten registered. So I'm just going to paste this command here. And it's going to open a browser. And here you can see that localhost 8080 /MCP, this is where the streamable HTTP endpoint is connected. And you can connect to this so that you'll have all the data of this MCP server. So if you go to tools, you'll see, if you do list tools, we can see all the 4 tools that we have listed. One is the get local time, second is places, third is residents, fourth is population. You can also run this tool. So right now you see the population is 178. So if I run it after some time, it's 194. You can get the residents. So right now it's saying cannot invoke because I've not given the endpoint, the limit clause, the integer value for that. If you go for places, then you'll see our places getting called. And if you take the current local time, you'll see the local time. Yeah. So this is the inspector UI. Now we want it to be accessible via Claude. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to launch Claude Desktop on my machine. And let's just wait. Yeah. So here, I'm going to ask it a question. But before that, if you just go here, if you're seeing connectors, you'll be able to see our server is getting recognized here. How we can do that is by actually supplying a configuration file. So that file is called config.json, and the way you can do that is going to developer, and if you go to edit config, you'll have this file. So you can open it in any ID. They've given this JSON configuration here. So this is our MCP endpoint, and this is how Claude connects to our MCP server, which is called RX10-MCP-server. So with that in place, now we should be able to have our questions getting answered. So let me just open Claude again. Yeah, let's go to the chat window. So I'm going to go for a new chat, and now I'm going to ask it a question called, what is the current time in RX10? So we assume that there is no such term. Obviously there is not, but now if you see, Claude will be able to find the tool which can answer this question. Yeah, it wants to execute something, so I'm going to go with always allow. So it has recognized our tool and it's going to execute that now. And right now it's saying that it's 7:53 a.m. So if you open the logs of our application, Claude has actually sent a request here. So that's how our tool has gotten called. Let's go back and let's ask another question. What are the residents of Aryatan? Give me 5 names. Yeah. Or let's phrase this better. Who are the residents? I'm going to hit enter. Again, it's going to identify which tool can better answer this question. That's how it does the semantic search between the prompt of the user and the description that you give into the tool. So here we have the description. So this is very important. This is where it understands the logic, which tool is the most relevant to the user prompt. So it has answered a few questions. And if you see all these names, you'll actually find it in the console. So they are coming from here. You can find them. Yep. So it's not making anything up. It's all legit. Let's go for what is the current population? What is the current population of this town? Yeah. So it's identified that we have to go for get current population, and it's saying 580 residents. And if you just do now, so we expect 580, a few more getting added. Again, it has recognized that we have to go for current population, and now it's 606. Yeah. The last tool that we can see is get residents, then we've got get places. Yeah. So get places. Let's go for get. What are the best places to visit in Aryapta? So I'm expecting the names like these 5 made up names that I've given. I expect that to be given in the response, and you can see it has identified, it has triggered that endpoint and gotten this in a neat language and with the AI wrapper on top of it. So that's how you create your own MCP server. You can create a jar of it and also supply it, but for now I'm just going with the IDE run. So that's how you create your own MCP server in Java from scratch. Hope you enjoyed this video, and do like and subscribe. Thank you.